Hi, this is Marco from marcoTO.com, your Toronto realtor. I'm here with my guest, Chandler Black, and we want to talk about the ideal time to speak to a mortgage specialist or broker, which Chandler is. And over to you. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Hi everyone, this is Chandler from the mortgage domain. I'm a mortgage professional.
That's awesome. And you and I were talking a few days ago about one of the common mistakes that people make when they're about to buy property is the timing on when they speak to their mortgage specialist or broker. And you came up with some really good points that I want to share with the audience. Could you elaborate a bit more about that, Chandler?
Sure. I would say that one of the biggest mistakes that people make comes down to expectations. How long should you expect for the funding process to take place? So from when you first go see your broker, your professional, to when you actually get funded for your house. Typically, people should be expecting about 30 days, no less than 30 days. In some cases, it's more. In some cases, it's less.
Right. Okay. And that is from the beginning of the paperwork to actually getting the funds in the bank, like we've got the funds and we're ready to pay for the house. Is that correct?
Right from when you first start the process to when your house actually gets funded, your deal actually gets funded.
I have one question that often comes up with my with my clients in real estate is how much time do they need for pre-approval? Can you explain pre-approval? So not the actual cash in hand, but timing for that. What would you recommend?
Pre-approvals should typically take about 2 days. Sometimes lenders will do it less in 24 hours, but generally speaking, about 48 hours would be a good estimate.
Now, from what I understand, though, pre-approval is just that. It's pre-approval. It's actually not 100% that you will get those funds, let's say, for argument's sake, $500,000, $1 million, whatever it is. So that there's the final approval that occurs. Is that correct?
Yes. So it's contrary to popular belief, your pre-approval is no guarantee. In fact, it's just an estimate. So it serves four things. Number one is it'll tell you approximately how much you can borrow. It'll tell you, number two, your interest rate that you'll be paying on your cost of borrowing,
Right.
which with a pre-approval typically will be held for 60 days. So meaning that your interest rate, if the interest rate goes up within that 60-day period, your interest rate will stay the same. Okay. Number three is it'll better ensure that you get funded by your closing date, right? If you get the process started early, there's a better chance that you get funded on your closing date and that your deposit is not at risk. And the last thing, last but not least, number four, is it will give your real estate agent better negotiating power to know exactly what your limits are, to know how much they can go, away from the asking price.
Right. Yeah, and I often find that with clients who come to me maybe a little bit too early, not prepared, is that they just have a general idea of what they think they can qualify for. So I can see how the pre-approval would be very, very valuable and really help focus the real estate search. Yeah.
And it's important that the mortgage specialist and the real estate agent can have a conversation about that to give a better idea. Always what I find is that there's information that gets lost in translation from mortgage professional to real estate professional. And so that serves the client, doesn't serve the client as well. It's better when the professional on both sides can speak about, borrowing capacity and whatnot.
Well, I think that's a great overview of the importance of timing and speaking to the mortgage professional earlier rather than later. Are there any last few ideas or recommendations that you have for our audience, Chandler?
Recommendation would be to just in general, like we're talking about, just get the process started as early as possible.
I think that's
it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, I think that's the best takeaway. Okay, thanks a lot for your attention, and we hope you enjoyed this discussion about timing on mortgages. Thank you. Thanks.